I don't know about you, but I remember where I was at when the direction of my life was formed, Michigan International Speedway, on August 23rd, 1974, when I saw Richard Petty's fire red and petty blue Dodge go screaming by. Since then, probably just like you, we've been hooked. From our first media gig at the tender age of 15 in 1983 with Grand National Scene, to printing our own Supercars Today magazine in the 1990s, hence our name. Nothing against our open wheel friends, but if it has fenders, our nosy nature wants to find out the who, the why, and the how. We don't necessarily interview these people, we have conversations. So please subscribe to our channel and hit that bell to be notified of new content every Tuesday at noon. Thanks for watching, and please like, comment on, and share these videos. Today on the program, Detroit, the Motor City, an industrial powerhouse in the north. Birmingham, Alabama, another industrial center known for iron and steel. Both also have rich racing histories as well as crime. For Gary Bradberry, a Southern racing hot shoe, both intersected in 1994 in his only full-time ARCA season. In 1992, the team decided to step up their racing program, and Gary, along with his dad Charles, entered that season's Talladega race, wrecking out at the end. Their appetite whet, the team towed to Daytona in 1993, and again were involved in the now infamous 22-car wreck on lap 2. 2 races, 2 crashes, though not of his doing. Still, they decided to run for 1994 ARCA Rookie of the Year, but come Daytona, they only ran 5 laps and crashed out again. But not ones to give up. The next race, they finished 8th at Talladega, then on to Pensacola. Gary qualified on the pole, won his heat, and led 145 of 200 laps to, for all intents and purposes, sweep the weekend. He was now a threat, sitting 4th in points, 165 back of leader Bobby Bowser. Flat Rock Speedway is about 30 miles outside of downtown Detroit, south on Interstate 75. The Bradberry team booked a small mom-and-pop motel on M24 in the small town of Monroe, just south of the quarter-mile bull ring. As the sun was coming up, a crew member noticed the hauler was gone and asked Gary where he parked it. Now, knowing this was no joke, they realized they were victims of theft. At about noon, Detroit police phoned to say they'd found their rig in the Verner Clark area. The team was brought to Boulevard and Trumbull Towing and were now on their way to the racetrack. The soft-spoken 33-year-old said, other than damaging the toter hauler, they didn't touch anything in the trailer. Everything we had was in there, and we'd have been out of business. With that, Gary got a few hot laps in, finished 3rd of 7 in his heat, and was now ready to race. Starting 17th of 21 cars, there were 2 early cautions, but after that, the race went green until the end. Once the red 78 got going in the high lane, there was no stopping that red Regal, moving around leader Dave Weltmeyer on lap 117 of 150 as the crowd roared. In about 38 minutes, he'd crossed under the checkers and even set a new race record, almost 10 minutes faster than the previous one. "I'd like to tell a quick story," said Gary, as he addressed the Flat Rock faithful, explaining to them about their early morning ordeal. "About the race," he said, "I was concerned with getting loose. We didn't make a change since unloading, and it didn't get loose until about 8 laps to go. It didn't work good on the bottom, so we worked on the high lane. Due to a heart attack, Dad Charles wasn't there for win number 1, but was at Flat Rock for this one." Considering the results, one wag joked during interviews that maybe they should lose their rig more often. "Maybe so," laughed Gary. Then he turned serious and said, "No, I don't want to deal with that ever again." Sadly, his return to Flat Rock in July ended on the hook and a DNF. For the remainder of 1994, their results would be up and down, but he would win 3 more poles and a race at Winchester late in the season, and took Rookie of the Year honors, and even placed 3rd in points. It led to a one-off with Jimmy Means' Cup team, and they qualified a surprising 12th at the season-ending Atlanta event, earning him a ride the following season, which turned out to be short-lived as they had issues qualifying for events. After that, Gary and Dad Charles ran their own Cup car, had a few ARCA starts, then Gary began landing Cup rides with, among others, the Sadler brothers, TriStar Motorsports, Stan Hover, and in the Xfinity Series, Don Markram. All totaled, the Chelsea, Alabama resident raced 47 times in Cup, 4 times in Xfinity, and 30 times in ARCA. As Gary stepped out of the seat, younger brother Charlie began driving, winning the 2003 Snowball Derby and other late model events, which led him to 11 NASCAR Truck Series starts and some Xfinity attempts. Sadly, he was involved in a highway accident in 2006 and lost his life. Then in 2017, Dad Charles passed away from a brief illness. Today, Gary still operates part of the family business, along with involvement in racing supplies and auto sales. However, his place in racing history is secure with that one unique night outside of Detroit in 1994.